Hi, everybody. Just joining in, and welcome to today's session. We want to talk about food and how it really helps or doesn't help for your fat loss or weight loss, weight gain sometimes. So, that is what the primary topic is. But all in all, I wanted to see who all is here. Feel free to ask your questions and post in the chat. That way, I can definitely answer. And one more thing is we are going to talk about a couple of the main topics as to how to look at the food labels, how to really eat well for both adults and for kids, and pretty much, help how we can help ourselves with food as the key factor for either nutrition purposes or either for any ailments, recovery, anything. So, that said, we are going to pause here for a second and see who all is here, maybe some hi, and let me know where you're joining in from. And also, what is your interest or what brings you here? That would be something I would love to hear about. So go ahead and chime in, chat up, and I will answer your questions as well. So good to see you guys. Again, we are going to start with the first topic as to food in terms of how we are eating well for adults or for kids. Um, I wanted to see go back and check with you guys. While we were in India, I don't think we had so many foods which were ready, processed, and available in the market, while a lot of it was home cooked food. At the same time, now that we are in the US, I've been here for almost more than 25 plus years, but I see that there's a lot of food which is available, readily available in the market, and we pick it up and we use it for our daily consumption. Either it is a frozen food, it is a quick food item which has been created in the grocery, you picked up from the grocery, whatever. It has a shelf life that it can last for more than 8 hours, 10 hours, sometimes it's 2 months. So it has that expiry date. Have you noticed that? And you know what? I would like to see if there is some interaction. If you feel free to really chat or something, that would be nice to know. That way I can respond to it. But that said, primarily, make sure that when you're picking up of some of those foods, look at the labels in the back. And I'm sure you're reading all those labels. So, for a fact, if we pick up something which is even the simplest thing, bread, have you seen the ingredients on the bread and the bread label? And it shows you that how many calories it has, how many calories per slice it has, and what are the ingredients. And if you look at its expiry date, it's probably 2 weeks out. So what does that mean? Right, so it's not as of a fresh food. So whatever freshly food that we cook at home, what happens with it is it gets stale and it goes bad if you don't keep it in the fridge, or if it is outside. So that means that's fresh. But a thing like bread, anything which is consumable we get from the market, that has a shelf life of 2 weeks, which is not appropriate, because that means it has some kind of chemical which makes it last longer than its life. So, definitely, that is something I would say stay away from, or reduce the quantity if you have been having a lot more quantity. And that's something, very simple example. Let's take example of even milk here. The milk that we get, the milk products that we get. The milk here is processed quite a bit, and it stays there long enough in the fridge, in the can, uh, 2 weeks out again, or sometimes it's last even longer. You don't need to boil it. But look at that when we were in India. I want to compare that because we have that comparison where you can see the freshness of the milk. If you bring it raw, you boil it. and then you keep it even outside for some time, and if it's kept too long outside, then it goes bad by the evening, right? Because couple of factors again, the temperature back in India is very hot, very warm, and also it is it has its quality, because it is not processed, it has its quality to go bad. And that's exactly what food is. Any organic food, any food which is not processed as much, is not going to last as long as it does right now. And try to go to those foods as much as possible. That's what I can say. And I'm just comparing it to India because that's where I come from. And I hope the audience here is also considering that from that perspective. But that said, there's a question here. I'm going to check that very quickly. And give me 1 second. I dropped my phone. So all right, I'm just quickly read this out. The dependence on the packaged foods and processed food. And yeah, actually, that is very true. I think one of the first things you want definitely do is try to be away from packaged food as much as possible. And which does mean that a little bit of cooking at home, sorry, a little bit of taking effort to cook for your family, maybe a little bit in advance, ahead of time on the weekend. Take out some time, an hour or two, get your kids involved to bake their favorite cookie at home. It'll be nice. It'll go bad in 4 days, but that's fine. You will that your family will get fresh foods, because what you are going to make in the cookie is simple things. Just the cookie batter, or even the cookie flour. Say if you're making almond cookies, almond flour, just a little bit of honey or sugar, or maybe some what do you call it, chocolate chips, some raisins, and some of the what do you call it, the soda, baking soda, right? So that's it, and it's going to take some effort, like about 20 minutes to mix it up and max it up, and then bake it in the oven another 20 minutes. So an hour long, kind of a good family time spent with your kids, and to see how things are made at home, and they're fresh. And actually, if you make them at home, I used to make them at home quite a bit, and the house smells so good. Oh my god, it really smells awesome. And then the hot cookie from the baked oven, oh, it is amazing. There's nothing like that. And I have indulged enough. I've given it to my kids, their friends. So I think, just try to create that kind of a sense of fresh food. It makes it a huge difference. And I think right now, as the kids are growing up in this country with us, they see a lot of packaged foods around. So I think that it's really important for us as parents to really bring that sense of how you can bake food, make fresh food at home, and it doesn't take as much time. 20 minutes. And as I think I see Kavita mentioning here, it just needs that conscious planning and discipline, right? And the planning is a little bit there. When you go for your groceries, get some of those recipes, ingredients ready for you, and then bake it. And it's good. You'll see the difference right away. So that's one of my tips specifically for kids. And as adults, I think we just have to give them, I don't mind kids indulging in chocolate, at the same time, again, if it's nicely freshly made at home, why not? Yes, it is an effort, an extra effort, for your own health, because that is what they're going to continue for the rest of their life. Also, I would highly recommend that our moms, they made food for us, our grandmoms made food for us, and I still relish that. I can still have those amazing memories, and I feel that's why probably I still feel like I should make that thing, anything at home, freshly cooked, to give it to my friends, family, my kids, anything. So I think that has a different flavor. The freshness of the flavor is different. So that is the first thing I would say is really important to take care of. Um, Also, I'm going to come to the other point now as to how are we reading our labels. Does anybody have an example here? If you want to bring up, please bring so. I know a lot of healthy recipes are out there. It has healthy ingredients, and that's why it's called healthy. But at the same time, is it really healthy? That is one of my question that I want to ask you guys. Do you know what does healthy mean, or how many calories do you think it has? And those kind of things, are we aware of? And in order for us to be aware of those little things, even though it has healthy ingredients, the whole recipe, drinking up a full glass of mango milkshake, may not be the healthiest. It has healthy ingredients, yes, but at the same time, the quantity of it that we are having at one point of time, that may not be the healthiest. And that's how we are gaining weight in every single meal that we're having. And that's maybe the one thing that we just want to be aware of as well. Is this quantity good for one time, or is it this quantity good enough for multiple times? So let me give you an example. I go to Pasta Pomodoro. I love Pasta Pomodoro as a place. I love Italian. And I order my special penne pasta. The thing is, it's amazing. It's delicious. It's relishing. Everything is great. The quantity that they serve is so huge that it could be split in four quadrants and can be savored by four people at the same time. But what is happening? We finish the whole plate. We finish that whole dish, right? Because we love it. And because we love it, we continue eating it till it's done. I know sometimes people get as a to go as well back home, but how many times do we really get it back to go, right? And that's another thing. So just keep it in mind. How much is the quantity? the Now the question comes, really, how much is the quantity we need to have at one point of time? Do you know? Would you like to know? All right, here's the trick. Look at your fist. How big is your fist? This much, right? Just this much, right? So this is the size of your stomach right now. And we eat this much plus at least another two fists to make it nice and full. And we feel really full up till here sometimes, right up to you're choked up, right? And how many have you probably seen or said, "Oh, I am so full. My tummy is so full. I feel like I am stuffed." So feeling stuffed is not the greatest because it's not a feeling of freshness. Have you seen that? And if you've not, maybe observe it next time, which means I'm giving you all the liberty to go and eat a lot. But at the same time, make sure, the reason I'm saying is just notice how you feel stuffed and you feel maybe bloated, maybe you feel also tired by the end of it. So make sure you indulge maybe once, one meal, maybe a special item. It's okay, but not every meal. And how many meals do we have these days? Oh, I go for a party, I meet my friends for breakfast, I go for breakfast, I eat some amazing egg scramble, then I have some pancakes. I have pancakes with ice cream toppled on it, and then a coffee with, ice cream topped on it. That's my breakfast. How much is that? Have you noticed? Right? And then we have this breakfast like at 9:30 in the morning, say, and then you come to lunch. By 12:31, you're again ready, or even by 2, you're ready for another big lunch. Now you go for lunch and you have another meal, maybe You want to go and try all the chalk items, or you go for a wonderful buffet place that you have, and they're serving all kinds of desserts, all kinds of sushi, all kinds of, say, fish, all kinds of things, and all different kinds of rice. There's a variety of items there. Now, for that 25 bucks of buffet price, you want to go ahead and try each and everything for that $25 price, because you want to make sure you savor every single thing that you went for. And in a way, that's nothing wrong. But now, coming back to the quantity of it, you're not going to try like a spoon of rice. There are, say, five types of rice. You're not going to try one spoon of rice for every item. You're going to take at least like a cup of rice for each of them. Then you're going to go for a dumpling. Oh, there are four types of dumplings. I'm going to try this dumpling, that dumpling, that dumpling, right? So again, the quantity goes on adding up, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, right? So that is how we keep on eating. Now, I'm going to pause here for lunch. We have two more meals at least, right? Like a snack and a dinner, a healthy, full dinner. But have we noticed by that time you're like so full? We say it as well loud that I am so full. Damn, this is like a food coma for me. Do we say that? We say it. And then what do we do? What do we do? Oh, it's 4 o'clock time, 5 o'clock time. I want to have my vada pav and chai, and I want my samosa. I want my biscuits. I want my puff pastries, whatever that is, right? Or my chaat, or my bale, or come on, anything you want that at 5 o'clock because it's available. You want your snack, and that's where again now you go and you have your chart, but kind of ignoring the fact that yes, you have already eaten quite a bit almost for your lunch, up till your lunch, and then you're still having this, and then forget about the dinner. I'm not going to talk about dinner at all. So does this kind of really resonate with anybody, everybody? Give me a chat in that quick window so that I can at least respond. And but yeah, so that is how interestingly we continue to eat. I'm going to say pause for a minute and think, do you eat? And maybe ask this question as well. Do you eat when you are hungry? Or just because it's lunchtime? Or just because it's snack time, I'm going to have my snack? Or just because I see that beautiful dish savored out there and I see that wonderful pastry, I go to Cakes and Bakes and I see that mango pastry there and I see it and I like, ooh, you know what? I think I should try that. Do you do that? And I think somebody's saying, yes, sounds like me. And so, you know what? That's, and one more thing I want to say is it's perfectly fine, feeling that way. And it's, yeah, mouth-watering and making you hungry. Totally. But how is it that you kind of stay away from it? And the easiest way to stay away from it is to, I'm going to say, work out. Because if you're a foodie, which I was and I am still a foodie, the only reason I say that because I want to eat food and I want to burn out that food with my workouts. And then that's a healthy give and take, right? I'm taking in all the healthy stuff, unhealthy stuff sometimes, and I know how I can burn it out. So it's okay to eat. The thing is, and when we were young, when I was young, my metabolic rate was much higher, which it is not anymore as much. But at the same time, when you're younger, you're able to burn all those calories or at a little bit faster rate, even if you don't work out. So, any young folks on the call, you are so, 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 so lucky. Please savor all the food. I mean, even the next age groups, please savor all the food. But I say go and work it out. That is one thing for sure. And okay, this is and I feel guilt after eating that. And then easy solution, consume. Okay, yeah. And unfortunately, there are no easy solutions to any of this, none of that. The only thing is basically you have to really train your brain to make sure you start eating right and you start working out as well to burn it off. The other ways is to stay away from sweets, all kind of sweets. And you know what, just as a really test for yourself, just commit yourself, for 1 week of not having any sweets, like no sugar, no added sugar, no white sugar in any processed sugar in any of your meals, any of your coffee, tea, whatever, right? Any desserts, nothing, ice creams, nothing, biscuits, nothing. I mean, just try that and see what happens. Your body actually will stop craving food. Sugar is one of the biggest uh, culprit, I would say, that kind of craves for more sugar for the body. And when you don't give it sugar, it doesn't ask for more. Because that itself is, I feel, like a drug. It's a drug basically. And you can have other substitutes for sugar, like a natural sugar, natural honey maybe. And you can't have the natural sugars as much because they're so sweet that a little bit of a little, like a drop of it, or even like a half a teaspoon of it, is going to be enough for you. So that said, make sure you start replacing any sugar items. Any jaggery is still okay. And try to make sure that you kind of replace sugar, the white sugar, refined white sugar, with anything else that can be natural sugars. Natural berries are the best form of sugar that you can have, because they're in very small quantity, but the sugar content in it is the perfect, in a way that it satisfies your sugar craving. And just implement that and check it out, because unless you guys implement it, you are not going to see what I'm saying, or what reflects in your body, you know what I mean. So try that, and just for a week, and you will be amazed to see that you will lose weight. You will feel that sharpness in your brain as well, because you're going to be really fresh. And at the same time, you are going to feel, not going to feel any hunger, in a way that the craving hunger that you guys feel right now. And it's always, the food is looked at as something like a comfort item, comforting item. Instead, I would say, take a quick sip of water, or take a quick sip of some green tea, and go outside, go out in the sun, have a nice walk in the sun. That will actually really stop your craving as well. It's a very simple thing, but you have to try it out. So that's one of the things as well. So anything else? I think I'm gonna ask any other things. And yeah. Can fruit be a good substitute? Fruit can be a good substitute, although again, it's always the quantity that matters a lot. So if you're having a fruit which is too sugary, let's take watermelon, is all sugar. But at the same time, it's a very good source of water. And it's, anything which is dehydrating right now for the summer, watermelon is good. But do you want to have the whole watermelon? No, you have to have maybe a cup of watermelon, which kind of really takes away your sugar craving for that particular moment, So that said, food is really one of the key items in your system, which either makes you or breaks you, right? And the more you indulge, it's going to continue with that habit. So if we don't want to continue with that habit, we have to start at least committing ourselves to really pause and say, I'm not going to have this. Or, if you're having one whole item of it, instead you can have a lesser quantity. And lesser could be anything lesser, how much ever you can. The least amount is the best amount. So that said, you have to try this out though. And one of the last items that we wanted to cover for today, I know it's been, a little bit long around already on the call, but any other questions that you have for me, please let me know. And the last item what we want to cover is the different types of food and its values, and how do we lose weight or gain weight. Um, so I know everybody knows that we have macros, right? You know what are macros? Macros are basically the primary key ingredients in every food item. And when I say food item, it could be a vegetable, a bean, in normal milk product, anything which has proteins, carbs, and fats. I think everybody knows. Everybody talks about it. I want. I have given up carbs. Does it resonate with anybody? But that's not the case. You can't give up carbs. Carbs are really, really, really necessary for your body. But again, how much quantity is the key. So coming to the macros, so there is macros and there are micronutrients, and then there is vitamins, and then there are minerals. So these are different, four different items that constitute any food product. So when you're looking at the food labels, as I mentioned, start at least educating yourself. Look at the food label. What is it all listed on it? There will be always that bigger component, as I said, the macros, the macronutrients, which are the proteins, carbs, and fats. And everybody, I think, is talking about these days, oh, I am low in protein. I need to bump up my protein. How do you do that, right? Again, that's a whole different talk that we can do, a discussion, how we want to calculate and all that stuff. But at the same time, make sure you are at least aware of what are the items that go in it. So I'm going to pick some items, or I want you guys to pick some items and chat up here. What items would you like me to talk about? And say a fried item, I would right away say it has a lot of oil. It is a lot of fried. It has a lot of fat in it, right? That's the first thing. If you take ice creams, any sweet, normally it has a lot of sugars and also, again, a lot of fat. Protein content and all these things are definitely much lower or sometimes none at all. The other thing I tell people is very simple. The not most tastiest items are the best for you. Like an example, right? If I take example of fries, French fries, how are they? Super tasty, right? Super good. Like you dip in that sauce, you have it, yeah, wow. But are they healthy? No, they're not healthy, right? They're deep fried. I mean, they're like all the nutrients in that potato is gone. It's like fried. Um, at the same time, now look at salad. Is it tasty? No, not at all. I don't think people like salads. Right? Salads are all the greens, all cut veggies in it, or cucumbers and all. Do they taste really good? Like tasty? Like would you go for it first? No, right? Because that's a healthy thing. You have to eat it. And then how do you eat salad if you really have to eat? You put a lot of dressing and then you say, oh yeah, now it tastes really good. I can have it now. But is dressing healthy? No, it's not, because you should read the dressing contents and see how much does it count for. So, that's where it is a give and take. But you have to know very simplistically, whatever feels it's like really tasty is definitely not going to be the most healthiest, which means you have to cut it down into very small portions, very small bites, and take a little bit if you really want to. But you can always live without it. Let me tell you that. Because the more healthier options you start adapting to, your tongue also starts resetting its taste buds. And once that resetting is done, then the cravings are really gone, are reduced, much reduced, and then you are on to a healthier you, because that is one of the key items. Even you are working out hard. I know some of you are working out with me right now, and you see how much effort you put into it, right? And then how many calories do you burn in one workout? Right? Not more than 200 to 400 calories, isn't it? So, and I haven't seen anybody, at least working out with me, who's burnt out so more than that, no, those many calories. Because if you have to burn higher than that, your workout has to be even more rigorous, which is not the case. So, give and take, it comes down to how much is gone in your body as in terms of calories, calorie count, and how much you are burning it out. And that is the equation that you stay with in your body. It shows on your body. And as I said, as you're younger, it's much easier to burn that calorie. But as you grow older, as the number grows older, yes, the depletion starts in the metabolic rate definitely goes down. And I would say there's no perfect time to start your workouts, and start with the food that you want to eat. But make sure you start eating healthy and you start incorporating workouts in your daily routine. And workouts doesn't mean walking. Let me tell you that. And if it is walking, yes, in a way, you have to do a lot of brisk walking, like very fast walking, in a way that you start sweating at the end of 30 minutes at least. So that is the walking that you want to do. But I don't think anybody is doing that kind of walking. So when I say workouts, incorporate something with light weights, strength training, because any resistance that you kind of build in your muscles, in your body, will start burning out calories. And at the same time, you can also do a lot of resistance training with bands. There's a lot of equipment out there. You can try some of my trial classes as well if you don't know where to start from. And pretty much, like, it just starts setting you on that journey. So that's what I can say. But it's good chatting with everybody. And there is a challenge which is coming up for those who are new to this whole system, and you guys can work it out on your own. I will give the guidance of what all items you can eat on your own for those 4 weeks, like the 30-day challenge. And pretty much see where you get to, because it's again about discipline. It's about how you're eating, how you are working out. And fine, for some of you, you may have younger kids. They're going to look at you as a role model. So what best could you model other than best health, right? So I think that's what I would say. And I would thank you, really, everybody, for making the time to come on to the show and talk to me and interact. Please feel free to share this with anybody and everybody, and subscribe and like for additional notifications and additional new workouts that I'll be posting on YouTube as well. So thank you, everybody, and have a great weekend. Bye now.